Hello and welcome into this week's edition of the ARCA Racing Series Rewind Show right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host, Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, welcome. This is a channel where we discuss lots of motorsports, namely NASCAR, ARCA, IndyCar, and Formula One. That's what we cover at the moment. Eventually, we do plan to broaden that scope, though. So on tonight's edition of the ARCA Rewind Show, we're looking back at last night's Herr's Potato Chips 200 from the Madison International Speedway. 200 laps around the half mile in Oregon, Wisconsin, just outside of Madison. And lots of stuff happening in this race. Very exciting race. If you saw here on the channel, if you were paying attention over the weekend, we did have an interview with pole sitter Chandler Smith before the race. So you would have seen that about an hour and a half before the race. Had a great chat with him, and we have another chat with him coming up tonight. As we get into the results here, you will see he is the winner of the Herr's Potato Chips 200. Had a very up and down night. I won't go into that too much. We'll let him explain it. He did a great job explaining it for us here in the interview. We talked to him a few minutes ago, so we'll let him explain his night. But definitely did not dominate the night early. Had some problems and then fought back from them. Then we got three MDM Motorsports cars right behind him: Zane Smith, Sheldon Creed, and Chase Purdy. And Gus Dean with his second top 5 finish in a row there in 5th. Last car on the lead lap at the end of the race was Natalie Decker there in 6th. And rest of your top 10, Brett Holmes, Eddie Fasher with a career best finish there in 8th in his second start. Colby Howard in 9th. And Tony Breidinger in her first career ARCA start comes home with a solid top 10 finish in the 10th position. Now as we look down here at the rest of the field, 11th through 19th, 4th in points, Travis Braden. Sure not the night he was wanting, especially after qualifying in the 2nd position. Comes home in the 11th spot, 2 laps down. Joe Graff Jr. in that Chad Bryant Racing number 77 car comes home in 12th. Riley Herbst, after a very strong start to the race, was running up there for the lead most of the early portions of the race, then slipped back late, seemed to have blown an engine there at the end. He was smoking there for the last few laps and way off the pace. 13th, 7 laps down for Riley Herbst. Alright, so that's your results from the Herr's Potato Chips 200. Now let's check out that chat I had with Chandler, and we will see what he thought about finally winning his first race in his 4th career start. And we're now joined by Chandler Smith, winner of last night's Herr's Potato Chips 200 from the Madison International Speedway. And Chandler, how's it feel to finally be able to say winner of an ARCA race?
Good deal. Finally got some good luck on our side.
Yes, you definitely did. So, just talk us through your night. You definitely had an up and down night there. You had that lug nut problem about 30 laps into the race, sent you back in the pack, and then you fought your way back. So just talk us through your emotions throughout the night.
Yeah, I just told him when we came into the pits, it's 30 laps into this race. We ain't got nothing to lose, nothing to gain right now. Let's just get everything right, and we'll go back out there. I'll take care of the car. I'll take care of the brakes, and we'll go wear them out at the end of this thing.
Well, you definitely did wear them out there at the end. Won by about half a lap. Were you thinking there at the end, just I want to make sure I get as big of a lead as possible? All the bad luck I've had before now, just want to make sure none of that happens?
I'm going to be honest with you. They kept telling me to slow down on the radio, and I was half throttle down the straightaways, and I was still like 3/10 quicker every lap, and they were just yelling at me to slow down. I was like, guys, I'm half throttle, letting off the gas super early. What else do you guys want me to do? So, no, we weren't expecting that big of a lead, to be honest with you. I knew we were really good. It's just once we got out front, I started just pacing myself, and Spotter was really good last night. He gave me good feedback. He told me lap times and stuff, and every lap he was telling me, you're faster basically than everybody else, 3/10 quicker, 4/10, and I was like, well, I'm just riding right now, so I guess that's a good deal for us.
Definitely. That's definitely pretty impressive that you're half throttle and can win by half a lap. Got to give you kudos for that. So, looking forward, now, Iowa being your next race on the ARCA schedule, what kind of momentum does this give you going into there? You think you can get 2 in a row?
I'd like to say yeah. As a matter of fact, we we were just out to eat just a few minutes ago, and we were all watching the truck race. So I was taking in a few things from watching the truck race a little bit. I'm not the most familiar with Iowa, with the race line and stuff. I've talked to a few drivers and stuff, but I was just watching a little bit there and actually learned quite a bit for when we go to Iowa. So I think we'll be pretty good there, though.
All right, well, definitely be exciting to see. Well, Chandler, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and congratulations on your first ARCA win.
Yep, anytime. Thank you.
And we want to thank Chandler for joining us tonight. It is always a pleasure talking to him. And we will look at the point standings following the Herr's Potato Chips 200 before wrapping up tonight. As you can see, no changes in position whatsoever this week. Sheldon Creed loses 5 points to Zane Smith, so they're basically about as close as they were going into the race. Obviously, with Zane in second, Sheldon in third, you're going to have a slight difference there. Riley Herbst slips back a little with that 13th place finish. Travis Braden gets a little bit closer to him, and Chase Purdy right there knocking on fourth. Only 15 points behind Travis Braden. Gus Dean also right there, only 10 points behind Chase Purdy. 5 points more down is Natalie Decker, and then you drop another 70 points down to Brett Holmes. So again, as we were talking about this last week, you've got your two guys, Sheldon Creed and Zane Smith, who have really solidified themselves right now as championship favorites. But then you've got a really good battle here from 4th down to 7th, maybe 8th. You might throw Brett Holmes into that as well. You know what? One more bad race out of Riley Herbst, and he's in this battle as well. So you really got a great points battle here from 3rd to 8th. And really, you've got a good points battle for the lead as well. It's not like one person is running away with it. Sheldon and Zane are having a very good run at this championship, and it will be fun to watch going down the stretch. So I think that will do it for us tonight on the ARCA Racing Series Rewind Show. Thank you, as always, for joining us, and we want to thank Chandler Smith one more time for joining us tonight. If you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing from Racing News Now. And hit that big thumbs up button if you like the video. It is much appreciated when you do. So with that, this has been the ARCA Racing Series Rewind Show. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.